All right, welcome guys. Welcome to another video. Now you guys know me. I speak mostly unfiltered. I don't really script my videos, and the reason for that is because what I say, I know what I'm saying because I've done it before. I kind of have an idea of what it is, and that's why I'm able to explain it concisely, to the point, and also not script really, and like every single line because I know where I'm going with this. So I wanted to film this quick video to explain a very good mental model that you should have. So you should definitely start with understanding that there's only two ways. Okay, there's either you're dwindling, as in you're regressing, or you're progressing. Okay, it's never a stagnant thing, even though the outcomes and the results might not show in that moment because things like time, things are latent. The work that you don't do in the last 3 weeks is going to start showing in the next 2 weeks. Okay, so that is how it plays, and that is why if you're not working, you probably won't notice it at that time, but that is when you have to start thinking about it. You have to start being paranoid. You have to start thinking, okay, shit, is something going wrong here? Because you're probably identifying you're not working enough, or just things aren't going well, or even if they are going well, you should be thinking like that. And I will get into that in a second, but the point is you're either dwindling or you're progressing. Now, I was thinking about all the greats, like the true greats. I'm talking the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James, the Tom Brady's, the Kanye West, all these guys, Drake, and I was noticing one thing about them, and what I realize is they all have a similar quality, okay? And that quality is that it's never enough. Okay, it's never enough. Look, when you're first starting out, I know it's very hard to think because you're just in such a painful situation that you're just trying to avoid and get away from, that you're thinking, okay, when you hit your goal, you're going to be like, I've finally done it, I've made it. But that is when you actually have to catch yourself. Okay, you need to catch yourself and ask these questions, and you actually want to be more paranoid. This video is also about really like the cost and the price that entrepreneurs, the founders, the CEOs, the top level people, the reason they make the most money, the reason that they are at the top is because they pay the highest price. The highest price is this mental model. It is them telling themselves, okay, it's not enough. And I was thinking about this because we just signed a lot of deals for this whole quarter, and we've already hit what I would call my ceiling, which was my goals that I had set for myself. And now I'm trying to make that into my flow or my standard. And what I've noticed is when you start hitting those ceilings, you're going to start getting complacent. And that is when you have to tell yourself, if you truly want to be great, if you truly want to be like constantly evolving, constantly chasing success, you want to have that model of it's still not enough. So when we actually signed these big deals, I was like, shit, like it took us 8 months of working with this client, developing relationship, lifetime value before we can get this done. And I was like, wow, like I cannot wait 8 months for this to happen with the next client. Like I have to be quicker. And that was my first thought. That was my first thought when we actually signed these deals. And I'm not saying this to brag and say it like that, but my point is you want to think of that, and you want to think of it like that. You don't want to pat yourself on the back. You don't want to make yourself feel good. And that is a price, because obviously you want to feel good. Who doesn't want to feel good, right? It's a very addictive feeling. You're getting all that dopamine, but that is the price. And that is the price of anybody who wants to be great, anybody who wants to do anything. Also the price of just working fucking non-stop 10 12 hours a day. Your employees, they're not going to do that. They don't care about the business as much as you. They'll work hard, but nobody's going to work as hard as you, right? That's another big price that's more commonly out there. But another big price is just the mental game that nobody really talks about, and this is one of those. So I've talked before about how you want to flip the flow and the ceiling, and it's really about the pain and how you see yourself, right? So the true price, and this is truly like ego shattering as well, because you just hit something that you've been waiting to hit for years, and if not months, and then just a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that you've put into this, and you finally hit it. And now you want to tell yourself, shit, it's not enough, this is shit, like I can't believe I'm just here. As soon as you hit it, that's not easy. That is a very hard skill, right? And that's also why when you acquire such things, you will truly stand out. If you want to be one of one, if you really want to be great, really want to be successful, these are the traits. If you've seen Kobe Bryant, like he was never satisfied, and that is a good trait. People have this backwards, because when you actually haven't really accomplished something, you're only just thinking about, oh shit, like when is this gonna come, I want this, and then you're just thinking about the euphoria moment. But I promise you, the grades, they already know. Like, as soon as you do it once and then you're going to do the second and the third time, they already know that it's never enough. Because here's the thing, right? When you are dwindling as well, it's like you hit that ceiling, but it's like, okay, if you hit that and then think it's enough, you're going to dwindle. So, in reality, what you've actually hit is not who you are anymore, because in the next month or whatever few weeks, you've actually dwindled. So you haven't actually even hit that. And the true way of actually maintaining and just sustaining what you've hit and that euphoria that you've been craving for is to in turn tell yourself it's not a euphoria and actually strive for the next. Because when you strive for the next, the one that you're trying to hit, that becomes your ceiling. Okay, you want to think about this. You want to start thinking and thinking about how things work and how these mental models work. And you want to like question, obviously, and just be introspective. I talk a lot about how solitude is so strong, and just being by yourself, being able to think, it is such a powerful trait. Like, look, and you can be fluid. You have to be this. People shit on introverts because they don't get in or fit in or whatever, but I think being introverted and in this sort of scenarios is one of the best things you can do for yourself. Because when you start thinking about such things, when you start thinking about what I've just told you, when you actually get this information and you absorb it and you're like, oh, okay, he's on to something here, let's think about it on our own. I want you to also critically think and filter by yourself and genuinely question things. And you slowly get to stages where you keep absorbing all these mental models and you truly understand the formula to success. And when that happens, it's like life doesn't happen to you, you happen to life, because you know that whatever it is that you have accomplished, whatever it is you've created, it's a reflection of you. It's from you, it's not coming to you. And that is how you sustain things, because in turn, that is you, that is your life. So everything bounces off of that, and that's how your life will manifest and create. And that's how the manifestation game works. It's always about identifying and achieving the person you want to be instead of just the goal. And this is the person you want to be, thinking like these greats, thinking like how they think, thinking like it's never enough. And that is truly the thing. I am just 1.5 years in the business, truly, and I'm already thinking about what can happen in year 4, year 5, year 6. And this is the first business I'm doing, and I don't even think it's going to be my last business. Like, I've already started thinking about this, and you should too. You should generally, like, forget the idea of not knowing what you want to do. Okay, you should be knowing what you want to do. You should always know what you want to do, and then once you start knowing, and then you decide, okay, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, stick with it. And then years by years, you want to start thinking, okay, what can I do in the next 4 5 years, what can I do in the next decade? Because that's your life. You cannot just simply go by every single day and think, oh yeah, this is how it's going to be and I'll figure it out as it goes. That's not how it works. Okay, you should be knowing. Forget the idea of when you're growing up, they're like, oh, you're still young, you can go to college, understand what you want. Like, fuck all of that. You should know, and then you should start working to it, because this is your time. As soon as you know, you can start applying your work, you can start applying your effort, you can start using your time in the right way, and then you start getting to actually where you want to go. So yeah, that's about it. This is a short video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.